Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 391 for February 11th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another one, Trevor.
And I'm the last one, Kelly.
I'm like almost tripping over the 2021 part. It's like doesn't feel right. Still doesn't feel right.
No. We're into February.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like this until June.
Okay. Well, as Matthew used to say, we all learn at different rates. We all adjusted the calendar at different rates too, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Apparently.
All right, well, why don't we get into what we did in guns? What we did with guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Centre, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now, they have the Beretta 1301 Tactical Gen 2s for $16.35. These are like the short barrel versions with the ghost rings and iron sights and whatnot on them.
Son of a bitch.
Like nice and short and whippy.
Hit a thing off a thing and made a mark.
Uh-oh.
Short and whippy, Adriel?
Yeah.
That's how my high school girlfriend used to describe me.
18.5-inch barrel.
Short and whippy.
3-inch
Oh, Jesus,
chamber.
I wish.
3-inch chamber. That's probably closer to the...
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Go check those out at Calgary Shooting Centre website. Trevor, did you want to start us off with what you did in guns?
I did stuff. I went to DC Armory today and something followed me home. Shout out to Denis and DC Armory. Oh, the stupid cat background is messing with my thing here. How about now?
Put it in front of your shirt. Stand up a little bit.
My shirt that says nobody needs an AR-15 question mark. Nobody needs a whiny little bitch either. Yet here you are. That shirt.
Yep. Just put it in front of that.
How about now? There we go.
There you go.
There's my Maple Ridge Armory Renegade.
Yay.
Lamest rifle on earth, but the best of the lamest. Huh? When you can't have an AR because you don't live in freedom, you get one of these.
Yep.
Now, there are semi-auto options out there I could have had, but I decided to go this route for my 7.62 by 40 WT. That bitch rides again. The project that will not die. I've been talking about this stupid caliber since I started podcasting back in 2011 or 2012. 7.62 by 40 WT, for those listeners who may be new to the show, is a Wildcat cartridge developed by Bill Wilson from Wilson Tactical in the US, originally designed to hunt hogs. It's since been replaced by the 300 Hammer. The idea of this cartridge was to get 30-30 ballistics out of an AR-15 size platform. So what you do is you start off with a 223 case, you trim 5 mil off the neck, put it in a die that necks it up to 30 cal, and you use anywhere from 110 to 125 grain .308 bullet. Jam that on a 223 case, fill it chock full of powder, and you're shooting 30 cals out of an AR-15 size rifle. Wanted one forever, but until we had cool non-restricted options in Canada, I never bothered to do the build, because why would I ever build an AR-15 and 30 cal that I can only shoot at a gun range? That's dumber than dumb. So when things like the SLR from Maccabee came out, and then the Modern Sporter came out, I was like, oh yeah, we're doing this. So I got both of those, and I built one up specifically for the 7.62 by 40 WT. Shout out to IBI in Vancouver, not Vancouver, in
BC.
Yeah, they're in BC. I can't remember exactly where in BC right now, but anyway.
They're out in air mission.
Yeah, they built me 2 of those barrels, and on the house to, because they're really good to us. We promote them. They hook us up. So shout out to Ryan. And I was in the process of working out the gas system when the government went full retard. And can I say that? I probably can't say
that. You can.
Yeah, you can.
I can.
On our show, you can.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So, they went right off the deep end and took away my guns. And so I decided to keep the project alive by getting one of these straight pull rifles. If you haven't seen Adriel's review yet of this, I highly recommend it. But lock your, do that thing where you freeze your Visa or something first, and you can't quickly access it. Then go watch his video, and you'll thank me later. And then you'll thank me again when you thaw out your Visa in the microwave to discover that you've ruined it and the chip doesn't work. And then you'll thank me again when you get a new one and buy this gun. From DC Armory, of course. So tell Denis I sent you. So anyway, it's very preliminary right now. All I've done is put on a cheap handguard for now. I've got a actual proper Maple Ridge handguard on order. I put the barrel on before the show and just took the receiver and the upper out of the box. I've done nothing. I'm going to strip one of my alleged ARs that I may or may not own for parts and build this thing up.
Mm-hmm.
So next week when you see it, it'll be a bit more on the completed side.
Yay.
And Denise got one in stock, like the production rifle that they make at Maple Ridge Armory.
Mhm.
From across the room, you're like, oh, what kind of baller AR is that? And then you get over and you see this like funny handle in the wrong spot. Anyway, it is
Makes
what
you
it
dream
is.
about the days when things
Yeah.
were different.
Yeah, long for a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. It's good. It's non-restricted, so I will get this thing up and running and develop a nice accurate load with 110 and 125 grain bullets, and then yeah, man, this would be a good truck gun, good hunting gun. It's lamer than shit, but it's still cool in the bolt action. How's that?
Mm-hmm. For hunting, it doesn't make a difference.
Not at all.
I mean, if you run like a 200 grain with that, it's got to be subsonic, right?
There's no such thing as a load for this particular cartridge in 200 grain. You'd have to be doing like 300 blackout type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 300 hammer might go up to 150. Now, if I had known about the 300 hammer, this wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
You know, but this was a lot of friggin' work, man. You can't buy the barrels in Canada. You'd have to buy one in the US and find out how to legally get it into Canada. And I couldn't get the dies. I had to have somebody buy the dies and then mail them to me. That's legal because it's just reloading equipment, but I couldn't purchase the dies in Canada. We had to, God love Denise. Denise somewhere on the internet from DC Armory found the reamers and go and no-go gauges so we could actually build the barrel. So he purchased the reamers, and then we mailed those reamers to IBI. They used our reamers to make the barrels. Like, this has been a pretty involved, like, if I wasn't into podcasting and didn't meet all the cool ass people in the industry over the years that I met, this had never happened. You know what I mean? So I got to keep this thing alive because so many people have had a hand in helping make it happen. So,
well, and for the distances that you're hunting in New Brunswick, I think that is pretty practical.
Yeah, man, absolutely. This thing, you know, I wouldn't bother ever trying to shoot anything with it past 200. So, and I got a piece of glass for it too.
What'd you get?
Where's it? Yeah, that's what you heard me go, ow, a while ago, Kelly. I thought this would be a good enough choice. It's kind of tactical, kind of hunting. It's the Vortex Diamondback Tactical 4-16 by 44. It's one of my favorite Vortex optics scopes. I've had a couple of them now. This was actually, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, this is the same one I use for Outlaw Rimfire Precision. Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. It's a good scope for that.
Good fit.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. First focal plane, I believe. So I got it in MOA. What for hunting?
Yep. And what you're used to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got nothing, you know, Emerad's good too, but yeah. So yeah, that'll be the glass. So probably by next week. Because Maple Ridge is fast, man. We ordered this from Maple Ridge and I think we had it in 5 days. So I imagine my handguard will be here quickly too, going with the V1. The same one they use on their production rifle, same one that I've used on some of my other builds.
I got one sitting on a shelf over there.
Nice.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing. Just a handguard? Oh, shit.
It's supposed to be attached to an AR, but my ARs are uppers and
lowers.
What
ARs? Allegedly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, mine are legitimately lowers. I was telling people to do that before the Banhammer came down, and I did. All mine got turned in on paper. It's just a lower. So bitch, please, that's all you're gonna get if you get anything. That's it for me. What about you, Adriel? What are you up to?
What I've been up to? Oh, I made a couple 100 223 last weekend. It's been so cold in Alberta. It's been so cold. It's been our low has been below -30 for like 7 days in a row.
Yep.
It's been so cold. Yeah, batteries are
filthy.
like car batteries freeze at this temperature. So you don't if you don't keep your car plugged in or drive it every 2 days, your battery will drain and once your battery drains at like -30 and below, it will freeze and it will destroy your car battery. It'll like pop out.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah.
How do you
It's been
people
cold.
survive in that barren wasteland of middle Canada?
I taught like all my clients are Americans, and it's like, oh, it's really cold out here. Why? Tell me something about it being cold. We plug our cars in. Oh, we do that too. The Teslas and no. We plug them in so that there's a little heater in there and it warms up the oil in the engine.
It
Like,
doesn't
what are you talking
freeze.
about?
We use snow tires too.
I wanted to do a cold weather reliability comparison, but at -30, I like -30 is the temperature with wind chill. Like we've got a lot of wind right now. It's like -40, -45. Like it's not possible to stay out long enough for the guns to cool off before I'm like freezing my ass off at that temperature. So I couldn't do it this weekend. I can't do it the weekend coming up because it's still going to be -30, below -30 with wind chill. So
Oh my Jesus.
maybe in a weekend or two, I'll be able to do the cold weather one once it warms up.
In my
Well, that-
lifetime, both as a student and as a teacher, I have seen school closures because of -40, -45. And that's sea level -45, not your pansy in the prairies -40.
It's a dry cold.
It's a dry cold, but it's been it's been windy. It
Yeah.
hurts.
Live
Anyways,
where the
yeah.
air
So
hurts
it's been
my face.
it's been cold. I've been making 223. I made a bunch of 70 grain stuff with burger bullets. I made a bunch of 60 grain stuff with Hornady SSTs. I'd like to test. I used Benchmark because that's the only powder I could
Oh
find.
yeah, I like
Um,
Benchmark. I've used it for 223 quite a
I
bit.
really like it. Like at first, I was kind of pissed that because it's $10 more than everything else for powder. But I like it. That it meters really well. I like that it doesn't like go all the way up to the like mouth of the brass. If you get something that's like a compressed load, with 223, at least I find, I seed it and I get like varying overall lengths because like
Yeah,
the-
stick
like,
powder is
yeah.
Ball
and I-
powder is always better.
Well,
Mm.
Benchmark is stick, but it's very short little sticks. And
Oh, it's not quite like a Varget stick, is it?
no, it's not. It's
Yeah.
much smaller than that. And I've got some BLC2 as well, which is a ball powder. But I just like with the fill rate because it's like it's almost where the bullet is. Like the bullet will come down, but it won't like cram in so that it's giving different pressure because it's impossible to get the grains of powder in the case the same every single time. And if you're compressing a bullet on top of that, you get different OALs, and I hate that. It's inconsistent. And like as I was doing this last weekend, so I put in like a crap ton of work, like a bunch of hours, and I got 300 rounds out of it. And at the end of it, I'm like, oh my God, like 300 rounds for all that work. Like, geez, I'm not going to reload this. I've got like a bunch of these like Cam Pro 55 grains. Like, I'm not going to reload that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I took a look at the price of
Price,
223
it
right now.
doubled.
Bullseye North had that sale on for like 450 or 439 or something like that per thousand. I'm like, oh, okay, it's better now. Like there's still ammo out there. Nah, this week it's all $700 per thousand, and I'm looking back at these Cam Pro 55s, and it's like, back on the menu, boys. I'm gonna process my 223 brass in bulk. I gotta buy a tumbler or I gotta find someone with a tumbler because I got so much of it. I need to do it in bulk. I need to do lots of it at once. Yeah, so I gotta figure that out. I wrote down here thinking about buying a Carcano, and
Why would you ever buy a Carcano?
Because it was cheap.
There's no such thing. Like unless it's free or maybe he gave you a case of beer to take it. Why would you buy?
Because SFRC had them, and they had
Yeah,
their
they do.
15% off groundhog sale as
All
well.
right, don't
and
bullshit
that
me. You want to
applied
hold
to-
that thing up and say to people, "This is the rifle that killed JFK. This very gun killed the president." That's
I
the
don't
only reason
care
why you
about
want the Carcano.
JFK whatsoever. But yeah, I'll mention that now that you say it. Yeah.
That's the only reason anyone wants a Carcano. Don't bullshit me.
And no, the cartridge is really cool. The cartridge
Okay,
is
so get a
fantastic.
box of the cartridges, put it on a shelf,
No,
and then
I
you'd be
wanna
like,
shoot
"This
it.
is the
I wanna
bullet that
shoot
killed.
it.
This is the magic bullet that went through Governor Connolly and then hit it in his wrist." Come on.
It's the magic
Hey,
bouncing
who am I?
bullet.
Who am I right now?
I don't know.
Seriously? That's what he did when he got shot. His hands went up. Oh, Jesus. Never mind.
Oh,
My talents are wasted
I
on you.
missed your super offensive joke. I feel really bad about it because I love super
Yeah,
offensive
okay.
jokes.
Yeah.
Who's offended? Anyway,
Uh,
why do you want a Carcano for real?
What's a cheap
'Cause it
mill
was
surf that
cheap.
you can buy right now?
Okay, so Mosins aren't cheap anymore. SKSs aren't cheap
Nope.
anymore. Lee Enfield, $150. You're welcome.
Got one.
But
Got a
dude,
Mosin. Got an SKS.
Carcanos are so awful.
Well, I'd love to do a video on how awful or not awful they are on my channel. So I'm going to do that.
There's
I ordered
been
one from
videos.
SFRC.
Every time I see a video with a Carcano in it, some car is traveling at 12 miles an hour from 72 yards away.
Well, no problem on my videos for that because
Okay.
there's not really a very active road near my range. But
What
anyways,
about
yeah.
a bookstore
Order one.
depository?
God.
Should I? So I'll do a background for my video on that one. I'll make it like a
Yeah.
library,
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
please.
and I just won't mention it. It'll just be a video.
no.
It'll just be a
Yeah,
library.
when the video starts, be sitting there like this. And then just put your hands on and go, yeah, and tonight we're talking about the Carcano. Too much?
My kids are editing my videos, and I don't think they'll understand the reference. I'll just tell them to put it in. No, trust me, it'll be funny. Yeah, some people might get offended. Whatever, I don't care. Yeah, I think it's neat. The cartridge 6.5 by 52. It's like not intermediate, but like more intermediate than some of the other rifle cartridges from the time. So I kind of like that. The 6.5 that they use though isn't like a 6.5 from like any other 6.5 these days. It's 4 thou bigger. You gotta
Yes,
get, like,
which is part of the problem with accuracy now. If somebody reloads for the Carcano, a little known fact, what you just mentioned, actually. And so when people try other 6.5s or reloads, yeah, horribly inaccurate because it's not the same 6.5 as the Carcano 6.5.
Yeah, it's from back in the day when there were no rules. They're like, you know what, 6.5?
Sure.
It's gonna be, what is it, 268 instead of 264 or whatever stupid cartridge dimension or caliber dimension they're using. Anyways, I got one because it was like 280, and I think I got like some ammo and like an extra clip or two, and
You did buy
shipping.
one.
Yeah, the price was good, so I had to
Yeah.
get one.
Yeah.
And the thing I do,
Did you
I don't
say
know, I
how
don't know
much it was? I was too busy running my
He
my
said
mouth like a mat.
280.
280.
Yeah.
280?
They still have 4 in stock right
Yeah.
now.
Hmm.
Mm.
And you know,
I wanted one.
this
True story,
thing
I
do-
did.
Mhm.
I had my little milsurp wall going on there for a while, and Posby had one,
Hmm.
and he'll tell you they're bad too. But he's a milsurp guy, so he's he test drives them all. I don't even. Maybe I shot it. I don't know. I picked it up and I handled it. I was like, no, you know what? I'm good. As much as I'd like, because I used to bring people around my gun room and go, and this is the Savage Lee Enfield, and it was a whatever, what was a Lend-Lease program, and I'd tell all these stupid stories and pretend I knew what I was talking about. And then I was hoping to someday get to the Carcano and go, you ever hear of JFK? But no, alas, was not to be.
Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, but I do this little thing where I review guns and then I probably sell them right afterwards. That's
Are
probably
you
what-
that guy on the YouTubes, the gear hunting guy?
Yeah. I feel
Is
like-
that you? Yeah,
think
your
so.
videos suck, by the way, but
I know.
They're awesome.
They're edited by 13-year-olds, so they're
And
not
it
the
shows.
best. Yeah.
every time I see a website, it looks like it was done by a middle school student. Now I could say it probably actually was.
yeah, these days, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I cashed in a Bushnell and Savage rebates that came in. Oh man, I'm like this is like, well, this is from like November and that kind of thing. But yeah, cash back,
Free money.
free money.
Sweet.
I
I
spent
was
that money
buying the gun
ages ago.
anyway. He
You
says.
Yeah.
spent it on a Carcano. Go ahead.
Mhm, and then I did this. So I've got one of these mini fortune cookies, and I made this. I put this strap on it so that you can like stick a gun on
Made
it
a
and
strap
have it
on.
as like I put a strap on my cookie on my mini cookie.
Okay, you put a strap on your cookie.
Yeah.
That was
Anyways,
my
I thought it
girlfriend's
needed
nickname,
one
Ryan.
Yeah,
thought it
does.
needed one,
Actually, it does.
because like for something like how do you fix this to your rifle? You don't.
Duct tape.
Duct tape. Yep. Very good point. Yeah, I could bring some duct tape to CRPS matches, that kind of thing, or just like
Put a strap on it.
Yeah.
Put the rifle barrel
Would
through.
you please
There
stop
you
saying
go.
strap on? Please.
put my strap on to the side here.
Yeah.
Get on with the show. It's a family show.
The Addams Family.
And then I got I put up some videos on what I like to take to the range, and a Surefire X300 UA knockoff that I got off eBay.
Oh, that was a knockoff? No way.
So I got 2 gun lights recently. I got a TLR 1 HL, which was good and not a knockoff. And I got a Surefire X300 straight from China that was a knockoff. Yeah,
because it was $30.
It wasn't very good.
If your pistol mounted light costs less than a Carcano, it's from China.
Not only was it like not good, it was like it failed like almost everything. That the tail switch on it was
Garbage.
just terrible. Just terrible.
Yep. I watched your other one and I shared it widely, and then the other one came up and I went, I'll have a look later.
I'm cranking them out.
Hard pass.
I'm trying to make this like a part-time job for my kids, so I'm doing them every day. It's gonna be like when I was a kid, newspaper delivery. Not many people reading newspapers these days. I'm not gonna expect my kid to do that. Yeah, instead, virtual newspaper, YouTube.
Yep.
Do an hour a day of that.
Weren't you going to do what I take the range in cold weather?
I was hoping to do one and like do it for realsies, but at -30, it's not really possible. A booster, bring a battery booster for your van.
Yeah.
Bring an old steel barrel and some scrap wood so you can start a fire. Yeah, that's It's not. I don't think it's a typical thing that a lot of people do. So I want to do it, but it's not going to be this weekend even. That Surefire light. Yeah, so the tail switch on it was bad. It didn't seal moisture for shit. It just leaked it all right in. Cool. I would not want to use them. And one of the people on YouTube had commented like, I mean, if you're just going to use it at the range, like who cares?
What are you using a light at the range for?
That's what my thought was. Now, some people run lights for different shooting matches, I guess. Like you can get a holster that's made for the Surefire X300.
It's for the cousins of the RC guys. They're known as airsofters. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's for them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think for airsoft, it's fine. Run that thing. The switch is kind of crappy, but who cares? It's just I say that, but like some of those airsoft guys, like their guns are more expensive than mine.
No,
and they run real scopes, real everything else on
real EOTechs. Yeah. Some of them are just fanatical. They buy legit actual real optics and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're in a country that has IPSC air because you can't own a gun, their IPSC airsoft open guns cost as much as real open guns, and I don't care. Like, you're ripping people off. That's ridiculous, and they're paying it. They're happy to do it. Suckers.
Yeah. Well, they don't have
you never know.
even the meager freedoms we have here.
Yep.
And I think what's the next video I'm putting out? 12 gauge versus 20 gauge. That's the next one that I'm doing.
Cool.
What?
28.
I mean, I know it's implied in the title, but like, what's the premise? Like, what are your parameters here? Give me a spoiler.
Which one's heavier? No,
like
12 gauge wins. Video over. No, I compare like gun weights, loads, foot pounds of energy, velocity, yada yada yada. I got like I pulled out a spreadsheet. If you're like want to nerd out on cartridge stuff, that's going to be the video for you. I got spreadsheets, but if you're not really into spreadsheets, don't bother. Don't watch it.
I'm more of a pie chart kind of guy. Actually, I'm just a pie guy. Pizza, really.
Yeah.
True or false? You had me at pizza. True or false, Adriel? A 20 gauge and a 12 gauge, apples to apples, have the same velocity. The 20 gauge simply carries less payload.
Usually, yeah.
Okay. The answer would have been true, not usually, but apparently I confused you with my
Well, it
complex
depends
term.
on whether you're talking target shot or
I said
slugs.
apples to apples. That implied target load versus target
Same,
load, or
it's the
number
same.
6 hunting versus number. Kelly got it. Even Kelly got it. Come on.
See, Trevor, I've missed you.
You'll have to watch this. You'll have to watch the video with the spreadsheet.
Took me like
Yeah.
an hour and 9 minutes, Kelly, to
I
finally,
know.
rusty.
I know.
All right, I'm done talking about my garbage. Kelly,
I don't have a lot to talk about. I did the RSO instructor program for the CCFR. So I did that on Saturday afternoon over at the Kincaid Ranch. So was able to get that done. So I am now kind of able to go out and give an RSO program for the CCR to other people. So
Oh,
it's
right.
awesome.
Instructor. So you had to do a 2-day then. You had to take it on day 1 and then teach it on day 2.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
So
Not basically. That's the way it's supposed to be.
yeah.
Never mind. I don't want to know.
Okay.
essentially,
Essentially, yes,
Virtually.
that is correct.
Technically.
Well, with COVID restrictions, we've had to take advantage of technology, etc. But
Did
I
you
did
threaten anyone throughout the duration of the course?
Absolutely not.
No, I think you could just say absolutely.
Not.
No.
Yeah, so got that done on Saturday, and then had a bit of time at Kelly's place afterwards, so that was fun. And then also
It's
this
exciting, Kelly.
what that I'm gonna I have something else to do.
No, well, I mean, yeah, sure. I guess I didn't think of it that way. So there's a hand like Joey's got it, Gallen's got it, and as far as instructors now, that'd be me,
Joey's got it?
you. Joey was we literally pulled him off the street and said, "Holy shit, we're short. We need some students for tomorrow."
Okay, so I think Alan
Joey
and Luke and you, Sean, and yeah, and
yeah, me, Greg,
Greg.
and Sean were instructors. Gallen, he who shall not be named, and Joey were students.
Yeah, okay.
Two of the 3 passed.
Yep. Yes. Anyways. Okay, so yeah, I did that on Saturday. It was actually it's a good course, and I offered some feedback on it. So we're just going to modify it just a little bit based on that feedback, I believe, and then we'll have it ready for everybody to do. So if you're interested in having the RSO course here in Ontario, anyways, let me know. Kelly Kincaid is also an instructor as well. So hey, you can get Kelly Square to do it.
When the show is over, Kelly, we need to talk more about this off air. Just please don't forget.
Okay, and the other thing that I did is I had to renew. I already submitted my RPAL, had to renew it. So that's it. That's all I did with guns this week. I didn't buy anything. I had some video chats with people and calls with people about things, but I do that every week. So that's it. Every week.
every week.
Every
Doesn't
week.
stop.
I
All
know.
right, let's get on to upcoming events. Upcoming events is sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency who works exclusively in the firearms vertical. Check them out at telosalpha.com. We've talked about Maple State a couple times. Chaz 3 Gun might be opening a first match. Maybe it's strictly against the rules right now, so we're betting on them changing by March. So maybe, who knows? Things might change. Yeah.
Yep.
News. Donations.
There was no new donations.
No new donations.
No donation. No new donations that were
I like
in.
nodation better.
Nodations.
Yeah.
Nodations.
There's no new
Donations.
donations. We'll have more next week once they actually.
More
come up, so.
donations next week.
Mm.
Yeah. We talked last week about
growl. It's more of a growl than a grunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked last week about that SIG pistol that went off. That was like,
oh, would you drop it already?
Well, I'm trying to do this is the correction. This is the correction here.
Yes.
Are we doing like a retraction?
No.
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 Good.
There was a.
But I like your you drop it joke. That's good.
Thank you.
It's a bad holster. So they stuck it in like
They
a holster made for the 226.
Yeah, they modified it.
Stupid bastards.
Yeah.
Well, it's only the special forces. Like I'm surprised they
nothing
didn't
but the
put it.
best for
They didn't
our
put it in like
military.
one of those like sandal, those flip flop holsters that they
of
put on the
twats.
side. It wasn't like a clog they were sticking it in. No, it was an old 226 holster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tactical flip flop morons.
Yeah.
They look very like the profile of the 320 and the 226 are pretty similar. You might be fooled into thinking you can put
Dude,
320 into 226 holster.
I'm often disappointed by the level of competency of these trainers and instructors. Like case in point, whoever was in charge of the training from the Atlantic Canadian Institute that destroyed the Rescuers Gun Club and resulted in them getting banned from our club, like this asshat has never been to a proper range. Like he had no idea of range etiquette or how to manage equipment or target stands. Anyway.
Right.
Next one.
Yep.
CCFR injunction.
Yeah, so we did get word that the CCFR injunction was unsuccessful.
Wow, color me surprised. Something
I-
didn't work.
We pretty much discussed this already. We knew that it would be,
A long shot.
yeah, it'd be a
Challenging.
real long shot
Mhm.
about that. So, but the good thing is there was lots of testimony or affidavits that were submitted on both sides, and also the information is
You
there.
reuse the work. So like
Yeah.
an injunction is like stop everything, overturn this thing temporarily until we get through with the real court case. Didn't work, but all the work you put into the stop this and let's just
Yep.
That can all just be reused for the court case.
Yeah,
which
it can
is
be
nice.
reused, but it can also be added to.
We've shown our
modified.
hand.
But the other side has also shown their hand.
We knew what their hand was, though. They
I
didn't present us with anything. But now
Anyway,
they can prepare for us more gooder next for round
more
2.
gooder. Yeah.
Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just use legislation. Like one news piece I didn't put in here was like the CBC was reporting that the Liberal Party is planning on throwing out something around this buyback program voluntarily. By the way, voluntary buyback program is what they heard.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
There's also a rumor
why is
of
that not your-
grandfather.
oh no, it was a voluntary buyback
Buyback.
program. Who knows what's going to be?
In other words,
with it,
there's
with
no
that.
way we can orchestrate, facilitate, coordinate, manage
That is
coming to your house and taking your guns. So would you pretty please sell them to us?
That is correct.
And since you're not actually going to do that, here we'll grandfather you with some new 12.18 R2D2 that says
Yes.
you can keep your AR under the bed at home in 14 gun safes.
That is
Yes,
correct.
but you can't take it to the range. You can just keep it
yeah.
at home.
No. Jesus, no. It'll go wherever you hide your FNFAL.
Indeed.
Uh-huh.
I
You
never
can show it
thought
off to
Jesus-
buddies
Okay.
when they come over. Check out this FNFAL.
Do you know who JFK is? I'll put it next to that.
Do that.
Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, I don't think it was exactly one of these that he did, but nice try.
Do you know who JFK is? And then the next news item.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna
You've
adopt
seen
a
it,
dog
right?
and call it Lee.
Yeah.
A YouTuber. Okay, at first you read the title on this thing. I'm gonna pull this up just so that everyone can
Yeah,
see this
yeah.
because this is some
Better
clickbait
pulling it out.
BS. You read this title. They survived shooting himself in the head with a freak gun accident. A 50 BMG. Now, I don't think anyone actually survives shooting themselves with a 50.
The 50
What
BMG.
a title.
Yeah, what
Who's
a
the
title.
twat that wrote that?
And then you-
Survived shooting himself in the head with a 50 BMG.
Yeah, I read this
Yeah.
today.
You head in here and then blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, he took it right in the noggin too. Oh, I don't know how you would survive that. And then you read that he was testing to see how many plates it would go through, and he was shooting them from 4 feet away.
Oh, you
So he was
fucking idiot.
shooting
He's got a ricochet.
probably mild steel plates from 4 feet away, and he got a ricochet. Surprise, surprise! That came back.
Oh,
And
by
got
the
him.
way, he's from Michigan. You see
Yeah,
his,
neat.
yeah, so not saying that, hey.
You're not
we
saying
got-
he's friends with Stacy, but you're saying he's friends with Stacy? Like,
No,
what are
I'm-
you doing?
Are you
Oh,
saying
by
that
the
way,
people
he's
from
from
Michigan
Michigan.
aren't smart?
Gun
What are you saying,
I'm not saying all.
Oh, you're saying Michiganers are dumb.
Some of them are, apparently.
Apparently, well, this asshat is.
Dumbass.
He's not as dumb as the
The ones
asshat
I
who wrote the
know, they're
article.
not dumbasses.
No, they
but
drink
this
whiskey and they
guy
love
is.
guns and freedom
Exactly.
and coffee and making fun of
Mm.
asshats who shoot mild steel from 4 feet away with a 50 BMG.
Dumbass.
Indeed, fun stuff. All right,
At
let's
least
get
the
on.
guy who had his hearing protection knocked off by the ricochet was from over 100 yards away.
Yes, but still mild steel. Like shoot mild
Yeah.
steel, you're running the risk that you're going to hit a previous divot, and it's gonna go in and get rocketed back
Concave,
right
that's
out at
right.
you. Yep. Let's get on to new gun stuff. New gun stuff is sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. Check it out at boltactioncoffee.com and use discount code SLAMFIRE.
Sweet.
This first one I'm kind of excited about. Kind of like, oh man, it's so expensive, but it's what I wanted. ATRS is now offering barrels that are made for the 180s. So,
Ooh.
Oh shit! No way.
So like the WSMCR
Oh,
and the WK180C, they use a very specific AR. It's an AR barrel, but it needs to be a carbine length barrel. And if you want something that's non-restricted, 18.5 inches, that's hard. There's not a lot of barrels out there that have that combination of carbine length gas, 18.5 inch length of the barrel.
That's what my 7.62 by 40 was supposed to be. And that's why I couldn't get the first one to run, because we went rifle length barrel. Obviously, we need a rifle length gas system. Well, both Ryan and I weren't smart enough to actually check with Wilson first.
See what the pressure was at the gas port. Probably not that much. Yep.
Nope. And they were like, no, you need a carbine length. First of all, they were like, we don't have a record of selling you a barrel. That's because you didn't. we're a resourceful lot up here in Kanakistan.
Yeah. 300
Anyway.
Blackout, that's what they're all like. They're all carbine length. Anyways, if you're looking for a fancy barrel for your 180, ATRS has them. They are $550. So they're not
This
cheap.
has got to be the accuracy answer, right? I can't wait to hear how these things actually produce and print on paper, because I like the idea of a 180, but I don't like the idea of a 4-inch group. And that's what I was getting.
Did you see my video comparing accuracy on the two of them?
No.
I did a comparison head to head between the MCR and the WK180, and pretty much all the groups were between 1 and 2 inches. With the good stuff, with gold medal match, I got a couple of sub MOA groups.
With the what
with
now?
the MCR.
MCR. What's this MCR thing?
WSMCR.
Yeah.
That's the 180 that Wolverine Supplies sells.
Since when?
Now that being said,
this new, because didn't they make the first WK?
No, the WK was made by Spectre
Kodiak.
Kodiak, yes, Kodiak Defense.
Right, Kodiak and Wolverine split ways, didn't they?
Correct. And then Wolverine went to another manufacturer in Ontario by the name of Spectre Limited
and said, make us one that doesn't suck.
Yeah, and they fixed some of the problems. Now, Kodiak has also fixed a bunch of the problems that they had in their original one. So apparently they use a heavier barrel now. And they fixed a bunch of the other stuff on there.
And I saw one just the other day. Finger sent me a text. His son was looking at one, and it was like really reasonably priced. I would think, with it being one of the only semi-autos in 223 we're still allowed to have, that they'd be gone really expensive. But here it is, Kodiak Defense. Yeah, $1,200.
Yeah, $1,200 is about what they go for. So I mean, like, you could pick one up, and if the accuracy is good, like I got honest 1 to 2 inch groups from 5-round groups from pretty much all your standard ammo, and with good ammo, sub MOA is what I was getting.
So question,
I like better ammo. Yep.
Why has this thing not been banned?
I don't know.
Good answer.
Haven't got around to it.
Carry on.
Oh, there's been no mass shootings with it.
That's the justification. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh no.
Why is the maybe not Scorpion, because I don't even think it's been used.
Just stop, dude.
Shooting.
Remember, clamshell guns have been banned. The Blaze 47 banned. The Mossberg whatever Plinkster banned.
Ruger #1 in 460 Weatherby banned. Assault weapon. That's an assault weapon.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the one thing I wanted to show was those rifle barrels. 5.56 is expensive. I think we talked about it already.
Yeah.
$700 per 1,000. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I'm gonna reload. That's what I'm gonna do. And I have like a decent stash, so I don't even know if I really need to. This was on Facebook. I'm pretty sure I got this off of like one of the Rimfire Precision pages, because it seems like the kind of thing that they would have. Check out these chonky 22 bullets.
Yeah.
Cutting edge bullets makes these like turned copper bullets for 22. Trevor, guess what? They send you the primed case. So you reload you put the powder charge in, you seat the bullet, you run it. They've got a 32 grain, a 42 grain, and a 50 grain turned copper solid.
They look pretty.
They look pretty. The BC is probably fantastic. I can't imagine these things are chugging at anything more than 1,000 FPS. I bet you they're just slow as all get out. Just a big rainbow popping those things out there.
They're slower than I was in grade 5 math. Why?
Grade 5's hard. And this last thing.
No.
Well,
why is that a thing? Why are these
is-
stupid 22 things a thing?
I think DAT BC is the answer. That ballistic coefficient.
When you don't know, make a funny joke. All right, move on. This is ridiculous.
I mean, the BC is good. It will probably carry energy a lot further out.
It's a fucking 22. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to you.
Yeah. Mike.
Anyways,
Mike Tellers.
Mike cares. This next one.
Mike from Canmore?
Yeah, Mike from Canmore.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the way. This next one, Kalashnikov unveils a gadget shotgun. It's the hipster shotgun for Gen Z. So they've got this semi-auto shotgun that they've been doing some pretty interesting things with. Interesting, crazy, weird. It's got a built-in camera. It's got a built-in computer. It looks very spacey.
Looks like the Magpul stock on the back there. Just
yeah, kind of, yeah.
And this is from Kalashnikov?
Yep.
Yeah. It's like they watched too many, like they played too many like Halo games and video games, and now they're trying to make like a space shotgun here.
It reminds me of both my 870 and 590 that were all decked out in Magpul with just a bit more Battlestar Galactica Captain Kirk on it.
It's got a built-in HD video camera, so you can
sure it does. Why
watch yourself missing the clays or whatever you're shooting. Yeah, and it's I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm crapping on this ideas. I would love if my 3-gun guns all had HD cameras on them, because it would make range footage
for
much
you,
easier.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
for sure. I get behind that.
I probably wouldn't be up for paying whatever this costs.
No.
Oh, is it a video of it?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Holy smokes, man! He's laying down the heat.
Look at all the stuff and the gadgets and the smartphone.
Okay, it's incredibly flat shooting. It's
got
cycles.
that smartphone thing on there.
Crazy.
Look at that.
So, but for the listeners, when you hear Kalashnikov, you think probably mag-fed AK-47 style shotgun. Well, baby, this ain't it. It's a tube-fed semi-auto.
Yeah,
looks very much like
they've got their
1100.
Is that Kalashnikov that makes this? Kalashnikov makes the 12 gauge AK or no?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because like I know that you can get like a
could be
Sega
wrong. The Sega 12. That's the one I'm thinking of. Sega's not made by Kalashnikov.
I don't know. That's like we can't have them in Canada, so like I feel like I'm just a total dumbass when it comes to this. Only this.
We get Typhoon. No.
No.
All right, that's all the new gun stuff. Moving on. What do people buy off our Cabela's link? So I was supposed to do this last month. I'm doing it this month.
Whatever that you say, I'm going to turn it into the name of your sex tape. Ready? Whatever they bought is the name of Kelly's
fishing and whatnot. Okay.
Go.
How do you Dakota battery for fishing and whatnot?
Title of your sex tape.
Okay, yeah. Cabela's shooting mat and Champion steel target.
Champion steel target. Name of Kelly's sex tape.
Lyman ammo checker. I don't know how this works.
Hey,
Caldwell
like
this.
lead
This
sled
isn't working well at all.
+3.
No.
Lead sled. Name of my sex tape.
There you go. Redhead fleece jacket and a whole pile of reloading stuff. This person got like a Lyman reloading book, ELDM bullets, the Lyman long range reloading book, Federal 210 large primers,
for sure, though.
Lee reloading book, Lyman case prep express, and Lyman cord cob media. So someone's gearing up for reloading in the cold winter months.
Someone's tired of those hoarder prices.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna get loading.
Name of my sex tape.
All right, let's move on to the main topic. All right, with us today is Dave. Dave's going to help us understand what's involved with becoming. Is it a CFSC instructor, PAL instructor? Does the instructor become your
I
PAL?
just say PAL instructor, and people go, oh.
I like it.
Depending,
that
of
makes
course.
the most sense.
He's going to explain what he had to go through in his province because it varies from province to province.
I can talk about two provinces, though. I can talk about two. I know two.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's two more than most people.
Yeah. Bring us in. First, tell us about what the steps were, what it was like.
Okay, I want to
What
bring
provinces?
you back maybe 5 years ago. I'm not BSing you. 5 years ago, this gets into my mind, and I start looking around. I call the
BC,
CFO.
Picture it.
Picture it. Okay, so I call the CFO. I was like, "Hey, I
Which
want to
one,
teach
Dave?
you a course."
Dave, which province are we talking about?
BC, but before
BC.
that, I called the Alberta one. So the
Okay.
Alberta one tells me, "Okay, you got to go to the Alberta Hunter Education Instructor Association, and you got to talk to them. And talk to a gentleman named John. Yeah, his name is John.
Oh,
He's
John.
a super nice guy, right?
Office John from Canada.
Yeah, and he tells me no, not happening.
You want to what? No, we have
No.
two guys.
No, actually, we have like 200 guys. But here's the thing: we have like 200 guys on the book. The requirement is that each one of those guys teach exactly one course a year, and they get to stay on the book. So on paper, we have 200 instructors. But if we need 4,000 courses being taught, and it's only one a course that these guys are doing, there it lies an issue. So John says the RCMP is not letting any more people apply or become instructors. Sorry.
Because it's a form of gun control. Slow down the rate at people in which people get licenses.
It's true. So that happens. I go to BC because I just happened to move to BC around that time. And I go and I start the same process in BC. Same thing, call the CFO. But this time, the CFO actually is the one administering who gets in. And they tell me no.
Maybe it's you, man.
It could be. You know, the whole shirtless situation, like the shirts. Not me.
That's the guy that was on Slamfire shirtless one night. Tell him no.
And I kept dropping guns, remember? That was great.
Yeah, the P320.
P320.
It just
right.
No, still didn't go off. Okay. Oddly relevant around these days. But anyway.
Right. It's true.
So carry on a couple of years, same thing. CFO, I call him every 6 months or so. Hey, you guys taking in applications to become a PAL instructor? No. Rinse and repeat for a few years. And I finally get to, they get to admit that basically they do this by region. And if the region requires more instructors, they'll let you become an instructor for that region. I lived in Victoria. They had lots of instructors on the book around Victoria. So they kept saying no. And finally I said, what if I go to the north of the island? I'm willing to take the plane over there and teach out there. They're like, sure. Here's an application package. I get to move back to Alberta around that time. So all of that gone. But I kept coming back to Alberta because that's where I'm from. And I kept asking the Alberta end of the deal, the Hunters Association, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And John would always say, CFO still says no, CFO still says no, CFO still says no. But right around the time that I moved back, he says, okay, the CFO is going to let us run 2 instructor programs, one in Edmonton, one in Calgary. Send us your cover letter and application and cover letter and resume. And at some point, I may contact you with an application. Great. Here is my cover letter and resume. Couple of months later, John sends me the application package. Awesome. I fill it out and he says, hand it back to me and I'll send it to the RCMP, Chief Firearms Office of Alberta. And so he does after a couple of months because he has to wait for everybody to send them back. And nothing happens because the CFO, like they always do, just sits on the paperwork, sits on the paperwork. Oh, somebody happened to actually stumble onto the pile of applications. They look at the applications and then they give you a call and say, so you want to be an instructor, eh? And you're like, yeah. And then a nebulous process ensues where they decide whether or not you can attend the course or not. And then you get to attend the course if the CFO of the province that you're living in says you can. So you attend this course, and they just cover basics of teaching. Luckily, I've been a teacher and an instructor for about 15 years now. So a lot of the stuff that they covered made sense to me. I could translate my skills into this new task. And it was great. Learn lots of things, learn what not to do. Like, say it's $50 for the license, or you can give me $200 and you're gonna get your license. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, which is apparently a thing that happens. And that has gotten a lot of people in trouble, because if the CFO of the province finds out that you're just giving away applications, now every single person that has ever taken a course with you gets a phone call from the CFO saying, you don't actually have a license because the guy that did the licenses is no good. So you get to go and do your course again, or you don't have one anymore. And the same thing that happens when you have firearms without a license to anybody else in Canada happens to you. So if your instructor is giving away licenses, be prepared to receive a phone call from the CFO. So they tell us not to do that. Great. Good tip. Pro tip. Don't give away licenses. And they explain to us how things have changed. 95, this whole scheme is actually what instituted itself. Before that, you had the FAC, which meant you might have had a bit of training. You may have not. You did an application. I'm not sure. I was only 5 at that time. So let that float around there. It used to be just one program.
Nothing,
and
Kelly?
Then people...
Kelly? No? Okay. Carry on. You were 5 in
Can't hear
95. Because your hearing has failed. Because in 95, Dave was 5 and you weren't.
you. How old were you?
You were in like your 3rd year university, so shut up.
Yes. Mhm.
Not arguing, right? Because he
No,
was.
I'm not.
No. I don't know.
All
I
right.
lived
Sorry,
in a
Dave. Sorry.
different
It's,
country as well. I was in Colombia. I don't know what happened here in Canada in 95. I was very concerned with other things. But anyways,
you were in Colombia in 95?
yes, I'm from Colombia.
Were you working with Pablo or I don't know?
No, but my mom almost got blown up by one of his bombs. No joke.
No.
Yeah. And then people started complaining, oh, wait, I don't want to learn about handguns, so we're going to split the course up into 2. So around 99, things split into 2. You could take the non-restricted and you could take the restricted if you wanted to or not. But around, I think it was 2014, they said, no, you can't do just everything at once, because that would make far too much sense, which is what I used to, how I took my course. Just bang it out in one day, non-restricted, restricted. Now you have to do it over 2 days. You have to.
Yes. No efficiency allowed.
The course material is laid out for an 8-hour session for the non-restricted. And if you take your restricted course within 7 days of that first course, you only have to do 4 hours. But if you're upgrading your PAL, or it's been more than a week since you took your non-restricted course, now you have to do 6 hours of training. But that's just what we have to do. So we do it that way. And there you have it, folks. That's how you become a PAL instructor in Alberta, which, by the way, if you are interested, contact John at the Alberta Hunters Association, and you can drop him a line, ask him about it, and maybe you can become a PAL instructor as well.
My experience is somewhat similar. The local guys here don't stick to the curriculum. They tell war stories. They couldn't shoot a gun to save their goddamn lives. They're both useless. And people, like literally students in the class, are like, dude, could you shut the fuck up, stop telling the stories, and actually stick to the course so I can get out of here? So
yeah,
me and another guy, we're going to try and take over so we could actually teach the course and be effective. And I was told, please feel free to send us your resume, but know that we're not taking any new instructors.
Yep.
So
you might want to pry into how they're analyzing their metrics, because if it's only numbers of instructors, but like I said, if you have 50 instructors in the province, because it's a smaller province, so maybe you have less instructors in the books, but it's only a course a year that these guys are teaching, and you have the need for 400 courses to be happening, then
no, never. But anyway,
It'd be nicer
no.
it's always better to have more. I mean, I think
Of
the
course,
one course per year, like that's the government trying, like not wanting to
Yeah.
be the bad guy there, because realistically, if you're not doing 5 a year, why are you even bothering?
And
Why
again,
even
like
bother doing it?
it's varied from province to province for a long time, and they started to change because it was almost too free in other provinces. Like remember, we know people that used to do this for a living. They were approved as
that's my plan.
instructors, and they would do it for a living. Here in New Brunswick, the instructors don't get paid; they're volunteers, and DNR schedules the non-restricted because they often tie it in with hunter safety. They'll do the hunter safety portion, and someone else will do the non-restricted firearm safety.
Ouch.
Denis, shout out to DC Armory. He's an instructor for the non-restricted and possibly hunter safety. And then the restricted has gone back and forth from the CFO's office organizing it to DFO or DNR rather organizing it, but it's always, regardless, instructors aren't able to do it for a living, and it's always controlled by some branch of the government here.
Why is it always free?
Why anything? Why does one province get to do it one way and another province not? It's stupid bureaucracy. There's no rhyme or reason or justification for why.
Well, everything's
Yeah,
private in Alberta. Like
another well, it's not really private because technically the Alberta Hunters Association runs them as a non-profit, and you don't have to pay anything. It's donation basis. They recommend you give them a bill, so give us $100 for the course. That's kind of what we usually want people to do, is what they say to people. If you absolutely positively do not care about getting your course, just that you have the training, like let's say you want to get at this for a job, then go to the Alberta Hunters Association. They're going to treat you great. They're going to get you the same material that I'm giving you, and you don't have to pay a nickel. Is that great? Is it done by volunteers? Yes, they have 2 delivery staff. That's the name that they gave their instructors. They have 2 delivery staff in the building that get paid to do this. Everybody else that comes in is a volunteer. And when you have 40 people in the classroom pre-COVID, you need instructors to come in, or else you're going to rip your eyeballs out during testing, because that's the biggest part that is completely wild and random from an instructor's point of view. Is you can do your absolute best to deliver the material and be engaging and be thorough, and if the person that is sitting on the chair cares this much, I'm holding up a 0 for the listeners, the testing is going to be brutal. Anybody and their mother can get through a true and false multiple choice 50 question exam, which is the written part, but by goodness, if I sit you down and I ask you to get me accent proved on this here Remington 742, if you have not watched my video on how to accent prove this rifle, and if you have not familiarized yourself during practical time during the class on how to use this thing, you're not going to get through this gun.
No, that's
Fun
not a
fact
gun for somebody in a firearm safety course.
But you know which gun is the example they give for a semi-automatic rifle in the manual? This gun. This one.
It's a FUD gun. It's the perfect one for the course. A Remington 742. You're not going to hit what you're aiming at, but at least you got more rounds to throw at it.
I would not call the accuracy of it into question. I would call everything else into question. Okay?
Yeah.
Anybody, what's the usual manual of arms for a semi-automatic rifle? Anybody, throw it out there. What do you do first?
Remove the magazine.
Okay. Which button do I press, Trevor? That one?
Yeah.
That one? That one? What releases the magazine on this rifle? Okay, let's start with the one behind the trigger. Do you think this releases the magazine in this rifle?
You know, I've stripped enough of those at the gun shop to know I hate them, and I can't even remember what takes the
Okay.
mag out.
This one's the safety.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
What about that thing on the side of the magazine? That looks like it would release the magazine, right?
that's a bolt release, isn't it?
It is. This is the bolt release on this gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that leaves this little doohickey right here. Okay, so do you think this releases the magazine? Yeah,
Sure.
it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's press it up. Okay, nothing's happening. This is weird. Okay. Maybe it's like a push to the side.
Bolt's
Nope.
gotta be open, doesn't it?
No. Okay, let's roll it forward. What?
Fucking ridiculous.
Okay, so you roll this forward, not in any sensible way, like pressing it in. That would make sense. Or pressing it to the side or something. No, you roll it forward and the magazine poops out the bottom. Great. Now, what's the next step in checking the manual of arms in a semi-automatic rifle versus this manual of arms?
Bolt back.
Okay, that's sensible.
Doesn't lock back.
No, because the mag's out.
Yeah.
Okay. So the mag's out. So maybe it needs the mag to lock back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, now let me try and take the mag out.
Doesn't work.
Nope.
Doesn't work. Nope, not gonna happen. So there is a bolt hold open on this, but that's just the follower in the magazine. That makes sense, but that's it. That is it. It's the follower in the magazine that holds the bolt back on this stupid gun. So you gotta close with that silly button on the side, the bolt, poop the magazine out the bottom, and now you have no way of keeping the bolt open.
Your hand.
Yeah.
Sounds like torture.
It is.
There it is.
You know what's torture? Trevor, how do you disassemble this thing?
Good.
You don't. There's a special tool required to remove the hand guard, or there's a
No, not the
screw or
hand guard,
something
but
for the
close.
hand guard. And once the hand guard is off, that screw's going to take the hand guard off. But then there's like a bolt. There's
a nut.
A nut, or I might be confusing that with the pump action Remington too.
No, the
There's
pump
this-
action is the same but worse.
Yeah.
Or maybe better. I don't know. I haven't taken that one apart. But there is a nut in here that is guarded on both sides by the action bars.
Yeah.
So how do
it
you get a
does-
wrench in there?
Yeah, it's a special wrench with a pin, and you put the wrench on, you stick the pin in, and you turn, and you remove the pin, you back up the wrench, put the pin back in the wrench, and you turn.
So you
Yeah.
don't disassemble this gun.
No, you don't.
You don't. That's why when I picked this gun up for like $200, because it's beat to shit for the course, because that's what you use for course guns. You don't use your nice guns. You use junk that works, but it's junk. I tried to take this thing apart, and I had to buy needle nose pliers to kind of like rip off that nut. And then comes the fun part. The barrel poops out the front. There is a pin through the charging handle that is affixing it to the bolt. So you have to take a punch, and it's a directional pin to make it even funner. So if you try to pound it out the top, out of the bottom, not gonna happen. You try to pound it out the top, it's gonna come out the bottom. But you cannot insert it from the top towards the bottom. It's too fat.
Yep.
So then everything comes out, and this thing is super weird. It has got, I don't know if you guys can see, yeah, it has got a plastic dust cover over the
Yeah.
bolt, and the bolt. Where are you? There I am. It is a 4-lug rotating bolt head.
Well, that's a good choice for something like that, though, because that'll generally give like lower turn in and whatnot, right? So that's a decent. Like if you look at the BAR, it's got like a multi-lug head on it too, or even the BLR. They both have a multi-lug head on it. Dave, when it came to actually running the courses, like what did you need to do to start running them? Like
What do you
you
need?
just you just set up a cardboard stand, like a lemonade stand, and you're like,
Apparently, you need a selection of FUD guns.
yes,
You need a selection of FUD
FUD guns. Yeah.
So you need guns. You need 5 semi-autos. I wish. You need 5 non-restricted guns, and you need 3 restricted firearms. The non-restricted guns, one needs to be a pump, One needs to be lever or lever action. One needs to be bolt action, a brake action, and then the semi. I chose to use the guns in the manual so that people could correlate the images in the manual to the images that they see before them on the table.
Mhm.
That's a horrible gun, and I'm probably going to get something else
Mm.
because that thing eats time, and that's one of the things that you have to manage with these courses is time.
Yeah.
If you have a way to shave off a minute of the testing because the person doesn't have to fuck around with the awkward as hell controls on that thing, that's good. So I bought an 870 because that's what's on the book. I got a cheap Turkish break action single shot because it was painted like a Hello Kitty gun, and I'll show it off later. And then there's a sporterized Lee Enfield for number one Mark III.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense. That's
Yep.
that's very Canadian gun. You should get an SKS for a semi-auto.
I thought
more
about
people
that.
are familiar with those.
I thought about that, but it probably will be an SKS. But the thing with those things is that the bayonet, I would have to get rid of it because it just be something that people would
Easy.
mess around with.
Yeah,
It's easy to
take
do.
off.
I might have to get a different stock on it because that thing is just awkward to hold.
Tapco, duh.
Tapco, yeah.
Bring
But see,
an
now-
SKS in.
now-
and a
now that
Tapco
SKS
stock,
that
and
used
then
to be
tell the
$200
fudge, here's your assault weapon, guys.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah, no.
you had to clear an
Instead,
assault weapon.
I actually thought about using this for the semi-auto, just because it's a little more modern.
That's not better though, in terms of like
It's not
trying to figure
better.
it out.
For the people who are listening, what is he holding up?
I am holding out Baby's First Space Cat. It is a Keltec RDB that has been heavily modified by yours truly to look as close.
A little bit.
I have a heavily
as
modified
close.
Keltec because I hate myself.
Exactly. I hate myself. I want this to look like the DMR from Halo. Yes, I am that
And
kind
how do you
of
feel
guy.
about your life choices up to this point, Dave? Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
assessment.
But the
Well,
gun's,
you know,
the gun's a gun,
the gun
aside
is
from life
a gun.
choices, Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
gun.
But the problem with this here gun
It's
is
a Keltec.
that
Thank you.
it's a Keltec.
Thank you for that setup. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's a
problem with
Keltec.
this here gun. Stop.
So
Keltec.
there's a million screws holding this thing together because it's clamshell. It's two halves of plastic holding everything together. There
Thank
are
you.
some really neat things about it, like how the oh, hold on a second.
Well, the empties come out the bottom. That's kind of neat.
All the empties
Yeah.
come out the bottom through a hole behind the magazine well, so that's kind of neat. But what happens if you get a jam? You break the butt plate trying to mortar it out.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Exactly.
I'm
Yes.
pointing
Tell
at
me
myself.
Tell me more about the neat features.
Okay, so how do you hold the bolt open now that
I don't because I won't touch
you're-
that thing.
Yeah, so you have to pull the charging handle into a notch like an MP5 to actually
Okay.
hold the bolt open. You do have the option of using these here bolt hold open buttons. It's kind of hard to see, but you can
Looks
they
like-
can wiggle.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
underneath the cheek riser on the stock, which is
Yeah.
this is a bull pup, by the way, listeners, if you've never seen one,
Yep.
you gotta shoulder the rifle and then
No, I figured this out, Trevor.
Okay,
Stop
good,
trying to
go.
burn brain cells on this. I already burned mine. Okay. What you do is, I'm not bullshitting you. You take your face off the stock. You actuate the button up, and then with your elbow, knock the charging handle down.
No. No.
Really?
yeah, also not a good choice for becoming an RPAL instructor.
No. So, why would you actually bring firearms that are hard to manipulate to an PAL course, an RPAL course, especially for people who are unfamiliar?
I'm not
Hates
bringing
people.
this. This
No.
is a major degree of memery that we're talking about here. This is purely for the memes. Okay. I am in all likelihood probably gonna get a Remington 1100 because that's dead easy. It's got one button. One button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You press the button down to put shells into the tube, but that's a thing that I might actually get rid of and replace with just the one piece loader. Because that thing, I can see people getting all mangled up. It's like, I can't push down the loading gate. How does
Yeah.
this work? Oh, well, you take the nose of the shell and press the silver button in the middle of the elevator to push. No, that's going to get people into trouble. Make that one big piece, done, resolved.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be
Or
easier.
I think I might get like a 22. But the thing is, with 22s, they're small and easy to mess up. And you basically are only ever going to need, you're going to be stuck using dummies with that. And so you have to keep buying dummies because those could just shoot up getting put through the action. So the SKS might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. So what have you found? You're running courses now? Do you?
I'm running courses all the time now. It's crazy how busy it is.
And what are you running those under? Like under the Alberta Hunting and Fishing Game Association, or under your own banner?
Yes.
Or
every single person in Alberta that runs PAL courses is running them under the umbrella or the protection or the insurance, however you want to look at it, of the Alberta Hunters Association. I don't have liability insurance. AHIA has liability insurance. My paperwork comes from AHIA. I'm wearing an AHIA shirt, but maybe I want to think about it as like maybe a contractor. I have the training and the skills, and then they do all the back end stuff. I deliver the material, I grade the courses, I deliver the reports, and then I bring the paperwork back to them. They send their end of the paperwork to the CFO. I don't deal with the CFO. AHIA deals with the CFO.
Do they do the marketing, and do they get people into your classes as well?
They have a list available of instructors in the province. You tell them, I want my PAL course. Sorry, we're not doing PAL courses at the buildings of AHIA right now. They would tell you, here's a list of instructors that if you want to contact them. Or you're a go-getter, you make your own website, you have Adriel host all the stuff in the back end so that you don't have to deal with all that jazz. And then bada bing, bada boom, people start searching you on Google. How do I get my gun license? And then your website hopefully pops up.
So you got to do the marketing. Because I remember getting the list when I went for my RPAL. I wanted to challenge it. This is a while back, and they gave me a list of people.
Oh yeah, you can't challenge courses anymore, folks. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, this is back in the day, and I had to. I called them like one after the other. Hey, you doing RPAL courses? No, I stopped doing that years ago. Call the next guy on the list. Call the next guy on the list until I finally got someone who was like, yeah, I can do your challenge. It's silly.
Yeah.
Really silly.
Yeah. No, it's.
So it
can be.
We're just about a half an hour here. How do people find out more about your courses, and where do you do courses right now?
So, like I said, it's all in the website. My website is foothillsfirearmstraining.ca. I had a nice brainstorming session with Adriel about what name to pick, and that's what we settled on. It's neat, and it actually tells you what we're doing. I service the entirety of the foothills area surrounding Calgary. So Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House, Banff, Canmore, Okotoks, Chestermere, anything and everything around the Calgary area, I'm your guy. And that's the thing. I don't just run courses out of Calgary. If you don't want to travel 2 hours into town, I'll go to you. I'm going to charge you a couple more bucks, but I'll go to you. And that's kind of what has been really attracting a lot of attention. I'm getting a lot of people from Okotoks saying, I don't want to come into town. Can you run the course? I just did one in Chestermere. I have talking to a guy in Turner Valley about it, and
so they just get a bunch of their friends together, and you just come.
Yeah, and exactly, you get a better deal the more people that you bring, because then you're not covering yourself my cost of getting all the way to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have a set rate. Each course is $125 if you take it in town. That's restricted and non-restricted. Sorry, it's just the way that I'm charging. It's still the cheapest course in Calgary, and I made sure to do that because I'm starting out. Got to get that leverage in there somehow. Got to get that, people interested somehow. So I'm the cheapest guy in town, but I'm thorough. And I have meme guns. I don't know if that's an appeal point for some people, but there you go.
Well, if you want to check out a meme gun while you're doing your PAL or our PAL, check out. What was the website again?
Foothills Firearms Training.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again for coming on the show, Dave, and telling us all about becoming a PAL instructor in Alberta.
Hey, no problem.
Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood and steel refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca, or visit him in the state of DC.
Mm-hmm.
He's also now a Maple Ridge Armory dealer.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we mentioned that.
We
on the
plugged
last
it a
show.
couple of times.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Especially when Ryan was on.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So a couple of people have been making comments on the Facebook. Brandon wants to know what our thoughts are on the handguns and LAR mags. So bye-bye handguns, bye-bye LAR mags thoughts. Yes.
LAR mags are gone.
So
If they
Ian
will be.
Ronco put out a video, and he was saying the 10-round pistol mag, you get a 10-round pistol mag if it's for a pistol that is commonly available in Canada. If our LARs, our LAR-15s, are prohibited and seized by the government, they're no longer commonly available in Canada. There are no
Right.
more LAR mags.
That's
I mean, it's a theoretical problem for future us, but maybe.
mhm.
Then we go on to the Beowulf mags, I guess.
Which are
Less risky, still risky, but less risky, I guess, because that one still has to go into court, and there's not really a good reason that they should be full to 5 of 50.
okay. Then Russ Nodder, he said there was a guy who gave the FAC course. He was removed as a teacher when he fired a shotgun blank through the ceiling tile in the high school a few years later while teaching a course. I don't think he was only a hunter, not a gun enthusiast. I think he was only a hunter, not a gun enthusiast. So we
He's a
do know
bud.
that.
You
Yeah,
knew
we
how a
do.
shotgun works.
Point it in a safe direction. He got
This
that
is
one down.
Anything else from the Facebooks?
No, just people actually wanting to know who the guy is with the great beard. Or the angry RC guy.
Your mama.
No, and then just Tim Crosnow's telling us about how cold it is down in
Oh,
Texas right now.
I hope a rattlesnake bites you on the ass.
Well, it is cold. It's -11 there right now.
Whatever.
That's cold. That's cold down there. They're
he's
not
telling
built.
me.
They're not built for
They're
that.
not built for cold.
They're not built for cold weather.
We had a train track crack in Edmonton. Like one of our light rail trains cracked a track.
Don't hurt yourself, man.
Trying. Whew.
It was that cold.
A rail cracked. We
call.
get it.
Yeah.
We have this this group that does a longest hockey game as well. They try to do like the world's longest hockey game to raise money for charity, kind of a thing. They
In
picked
this
the
cold?
wrong week. They've been shattering pucks. The pucks have been shattering on them because it's cold enough. You hit a puck at like -30, and they've been shattering. So they've gone through more than
I gotta look that up. I know you
Why
just
don't
said
they
it, but I don't even
postpone
believe it's
it?
a thing. Wow.
Doug Roddenbush is saying that it's so cold that he's going to go and he has to go and get a new battery for his car. And I said, just take it in. That's what we used to do. Just unhook it and take it in the house. That's a pain in the
Jesus.
arse, but it actually works.
Well, it keeps it from freezing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the emails. I'll take the first one from Rod R. The MR. No,
It's actually a news story, Adriel.
Yeah.
And the Edmonton Sun. Cold weather shattering pucks, not spirits.
Oh,
so
we
the
read
people are
this
still
last
out
time.
there. The pucks are like not having it, but the people like are
The
still.
pucks are like, screw you guys. I'm going home.
I give up. I declare bankruptcy on life.
Hey. Okay. This one, these are all done. These were last week's.
Yeah.
Oh, that means somebody didn't do their job.
That would be me. Sorry,
No.
guys.
The bottom of the note says I
That's
do
okay.
the emails.
We could just
No,
riff. I could what is it? Ski bop, biddly boo bop for a little bit here.
List of show note responsibilities, listener feedback. Trevor.
Okay,
so
but you've been doing it for so long and so well.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do the podcast app reviews.
There you go.
How about we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got some reviews. Facebook allows reviews now, thanks to Kelly for putting in the work to figure out which button to click. And now we've got some reviews from Sam S. Knowledgeable hosts, interesting topics, and great guests. I don't know which show they're listening to, but thank you for the review anyways.
Yes. Nice.
From Mark L. Wide range of topics concerning the firearms community. Great hosts and awesome guests. Also someone who's lost, but very good. Laura B. Great show as a new gunny once my RPAL comes in. The show has helped me learn the lingo, but also showcases the amazing community there is around guns. Makes you laugh and learn at the same time.
And cry for Kelly. Makes you laugh, makes you cry. Okay.
No, it doesn't make me cry.
It should. Or I'm not doing my job.
From
What?
Sean H. Great Canadian firearms content. From news, upcoming events, interviews, and personal experiences. There's something for all firearms enthusiasts to enjoy. From Scott N. Best podcart in Canada.
Oh, I haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah,
Thank you.
neither have I. There's something for all firearms enthusiasts to enjoy. Oh wait, I missed two. I mixed two of them. Give them a listen, or you might be a communist. From Mike H. They talk the real deal when dealing about Canadian gun stuff. Keeping it real. That's my priority in life and on this show. Keeping it real.
Keeping it real, yo.
Yep. Kelly, did you want to read this one from Chris W?
Sure. So he says, "Hi, SFR, which is Slamfire Radio. Glad to see that we're having fun as always. He's last week when we read his email, or he was a Patreon. Remember our new Patreon? Anyways, okay. I had some too with the 403. Okay, I didn't edit this. I just have to let you know. Just put it in. Haven't edited this. All right, so I'm just gonna read it as it is. Had some too. Oh, you had some fun too with 403. I may change my area code to Alberta, not South though, if Wexit becomes a reality. 403 is the sum of all calibers I have before the boating accidents. 9mm equals 9 cents, 30-06 equals 0.3006 cents, 12 gauge is 0.12 cents, etc. Who knew that 22 LR is worth more than the 5.56? Unfortunately, each caliber counts only once. If I had more than two firearms of the same caliber, I will increase the amount if more guns follow the boat. But you will have to live with the 403 for now because the lakes are all frozen now. Well, they are in Alberta, but they're not here in Ontario, Chris. He says, cheers, Chris. P.S. Dave, count me in for Guelph games. Slingshots have floating handles, so I'll have them, and they shoot pretty well. So actually, he is near Guelph. So
I don't know
Yay.
what that means with the slingshots and the floating handles. And
because Dave was talking about going and doing some shooting with the guys down in Galt or
with
in Guelph.
slingshots.
Sorry, no, but it was it was the service rifle conditions types of shooting, but without. So they were talking. He was talking about having a slingshot.
Yes,
right?
Very good.
So because some of the calibers. Right?
All right.
Some of the rifles. So yeah, actually, it's much better written than I read. So there you go.
It's like it was written by Ginger Snaps and read by Ginger Snaps. That's
I miss Ginger Snaps.
kind of how it.
James, I haven't heard from you in a while. What's going
He
on?
sent me an invitation to some obscure gun group the other day on Facebook. Not, hey man, it's been a while. How
Proud
are
Boys?
you? Huh?
Proud Boys?
No.
No.
No. All right. Patreon supporters. If you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/slamfireradio. And we will send you a patch sometime or another. You can also help support the show by visiting our website. There's a link to Cabela's where you can click on it and buy what you're going to buy from Cabela's anyways, and they'll send us back 3% of reloading supplies while it's cold and there's nothing to do. Especially for 223.
Holy crappy man.
$700 per 1,000 or reload and make it for $300 per 1,000 or whatever. I don't know. Shout outs. Trevor?
Stacy. My show is to Stacy.
Are you gonna tell us why?
No, I just said shout somebody out, so I shouted out Stacy.
Okay.
Sweet.
Oh no,
Kelly?
Stacy just touched base the other day, check in, see how everything was going. So I thought that was nice. So I thought I'd shout her out.
Yeah, she's nice. I'm going to give a shout out to Greg Weiss for doing the program on Saturday night for Kelly and I, and for Kelly and Kyle for hosting us at their place so that we could actually get the stuff done. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Finally, check us out on Gunners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. Give us a review on Facebook, and we'll probably read it on the air. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Later.